Across the globe is known my foes despise melanin. And those of mine are blind and obliged and fine with settling. I can't take it no more. Fake smiles, crowds, the foul energy. They've waged war on my mentality. Plus spiritually they're killing me. Our inability to identify our enemies is the main reason I can't sleep. Can't trust what they preach. Cause when we practice what they teach, they got us lacking in the streets. Went from shackles on our feet to courtrooms and prisons where they throw away the keys. And you telling me to keep the peace? Lord, please.
Yo, what's up? What's the case, man? What's shaking in your day-to-day? Top of the morning to you. That goes for the evening and afternoon too. But let's talk about respect. You know, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. You know, let's talk about respect and how it's important in your day-to-day, whether in your personal relationships, among your family, your people, and for self. You know what I'm saying? Respect is very important. Without respect as the foundation for how you're maneuvering when dealing with people, you'll never really value what you're involved with that person or people. You know, respect is a solid ingredient to the success as a part of something. You as a part or attached to whatever. You know, whatever the goal is of you and that person or the people. You know, you gotta have respect not only for what the goal is, but for yourself and the people involved. You feel me? Very important. Let's start with self-respect, because what culminates within, what you're cultivating inside will be manifested. So self-respect is very important. So when it comes to self-respect, I feel as though everybody knows what they will and won't tolerate within themselves. Respect to me for self, respect comes with standing on what you have decided within, what you will and won't tolerate, and then being able to manifest the ability or the courage to stand on it, whatever the consequence for what you believe in, or whatever your principle is, or your standard for yourself is, you know? That's self-respect. Because again, everything will be manifested. Anything, whatever you could think of, whether that's whatever you're building inside or just out in the world, things are to be manifested, whether positive, negative. So I'm saying that to say, if something goes against your principle, if you don't stand, if you don't be like, yo, I'm not finna go for this, we finna put an end to this right now, to me, you don't have any self-respect. Whatever whatever is disrupting the standards you set for yourself. Now, standing on it and being like, hey, I'm not finna, tolerate A, B, and C, beyond just saying it, you know what I'm saying? Because there are some cases where you voice what you don't like, and then what you don't like continues to be, you know what I'm saying, in existence. It's still happening, you know what I'm saying? But saying it and then being willing to, put action to what you're saying, therein lies the self-respect, when standing on that which is going against your principle, going against the standards you set for yourself. Now, there are some cases where you might need to bide your time. However, wait for a better time to bust a move, because timing is also everything. You feel me? It takes time to develop respect for somebody, in my opinion. Now, that's not to say that you cannot enter interaction with respect, or being respectful, being cordial, you feel me? Coming in and being respectful is allowing yourself first to say, this is what I'm putting on the table. And then in the vein of reciprocity, you should expect, justice. You should expect what you're putting out. Not in a phony way, not like you're pretending to be cool and kind. Being yourself. Being yourself is respectful because you're not putting on a facade. You're not faking, you're not pretending. Because if you have to pretend, you're trying to deceive to get something. You feel me? If you're not coming in as who you are, being truthful, being the truth, you feel me? You gotta be trying to get something. There's an ulterior motive. So to me, coming in respectful is not phony, but coming into an interaction, being yourself, that's respectful to me. That doesn't necessarily mean I respect the person I'm dealing with, because I don't know the person, especially if it's a new acquaintance. And even in cases where I've developed an understanding of the character of somebody according to my observation, you feel me? And then comparing it and balancing it with my personal principles, what I will and won't tolerate, you feel me? After doing all that, if I declare or decide within myself that this person is not worthy of my respect, either I cut off dealings, or if I'm forced to deal with this person, you feel me? I cut down interaction as much as possible because, again, sometimes, you feel me, separating from that which is not a part, you know what I'm saying, is not a valuable part of your process or achieving is the best move. Sometimes you can't avoid confrontation, but where you can, you know what I'm saying, separate. That's the mature thing to do. I used to have a problem with doing that. You feel me? Like back in the G, you know, I was trying to get with it. I'm trying to see what's happening. I'm with all the confrontation, all the smoke. But today, like, we can't afford, between us, speaking to those of mine, those of the tribe, we can't afford to allow confrontation to divide us even further than we're already divided, you know? There's so many other factors that divide us. When it comes to us, how I am, where I'm at right now in my mind, I don't want to, you know, further separate a potential, you know, a potential to get to a common ground. I don't want us to be further separated from that potential, you know? So I'm coming in respectfully. I'm gonna share who I am in all sincerity when it comes to us. Now, those who you know have animosity for you, you know what I'm saying? They're operating in a way that might be detrimental to your well-being. If you can't separate, defend yourself. That's self-respect. You feel me? That's respectful to do that for yourself. If somebody's encroaching up on your cordiality, your kindness, you know what I'm saying, your grace, defend yourself in the vein of your self-respect. You feel me? You should respect yourself enough to put an end or separate from that which is not conducive to your success. You should just do that automatically. But nothing against those who have not come to a place to respect themselves, because that leads to, and we're going to talk about the next form of respect, that leads to your inability to respect things or people outside of you. If you don't have respect for yourself and you accept less, you know what I'm saying, you're going to see less for everybody else. You get what I'm telling you? So if you don't first respect yourself, you don't think anybody else is worthy of respect. You get me? Because just because you don't respect somebody or something doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful. You feel me? And there's a time and place to be disrespectful. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and place for all things. But in the case of being involved or engaged with those who are at least of like kind on the surface, you know, in public, where in any walk of life, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing out in the world, try to cut down on the confrontation. You feel me? And you should want there to be some kind of connection, even if it's surface, you know, for the sake of achieving your goal. For the sake of achieving your goal, you know? But again, if you go out into the world and you don't respect yourself, you're gonna accept less, you're gonna accept, you know, disrespect, you feel me? And then therefore you're gonna disrespect and expect everybody else to accept disrespect or no respect, you feel me? But again, just because you don't respect somebody doesn't mean you have to disrespect them, because now you're talking about confrontation. If you don't respect somebody, avoiding them might cut down on confrontation. Would you agree? So if you take it to the next step and up it one notch, you feel me, and go become disrespectful, you already don't respect this person, so your disrespect gonna cut deep. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna shed some light on some things in a disrespectful manner that you've been wanting to let loose, because now you got the opportunity to do so. So you're gonna be extra disrespectful. If you don't think that disrespect is gonna warrant confrontation, you're out of your mind. You get what I'm telling you? You're out of your mind. That's the natural course of events. It's a natural occurrence. You're gonna get a confrontation. So I'm saying that to say, if you do not respect a situation or a person, before you're disrespectful, separate. Be around something that's more positive and feeds the soul more, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna elevate you and uplift you and get you to your higher plateau, you know? But separate. You can choose to leave. You know, you can choose to blow at any time you want. Anytime you want to go, you can go. You know, you can blow. I'm not gonna stop you from leaving. And that should be the mentality of those who do not represent what is necessary, you know what I'm saying, for somebody to continue to be engaged with you. You should just be like, yo, life goes on. If you want to go, go. But you're going to come to that situation. You're going to come to that situation if, like I said, you know what I'm saying, instead of the disrespect, you separate if you decide to do so. That being said, in situations where, again, you don't have respect for the external people, situations, you see what I'm saying? You don't need to be disrespectful, man. There's no need to be. And then you have to evaluate why there's no respect there, you know? Because the age-old saying is respect your elders, you know? I know everybody's heard that before, you know? You're supposed to respect your elders, no matter what. No matter what walk of life, what their history is, what they did in society up until them becoming an elder, all that. You're told to respect your elders no matter what. Why you think that is? First off, where did you learn that? Who told you that? Was it an elder who told you that? Somebody in your family? And then where did they get that from? You feel me? And then why do you think that is? And the reason I'm asking you, because that's very important. Knowing where to place your respect, you know what I'm saying, in whom you respect, is very important for the trajectory of your success, of your life. How your life goes, who you respect, by first having respect for self, setting your standard, but then outwardly, you know, what you respect and who you respect determines how you proceed. Kind of like understanding, you know what I'm saying? And really, to me, understanding and respect go hand in hand, because according to your understanding, that's what you choose to respect. Do you get me? So it's very important to aim where you invest your respect wisely. It's very important. Again, like I was telling you just a minute ago, you know, why do you think you've been told to respect your elders no matter what? Because in my mind, understanding how we get our education, how we've been taught generation after generation, you know what I'm saying, when they so-called emancipated our ancestors, those of you who share my heritage, speaking of those of mine for a second, we were taught that from that point, you know what I'm saying, even back on the days before we were emancipated, you know, we were taught to respect our elders is because it is because when they were breaking our elders before our eyes, the way they maneuvered and operated in that broken state is what those who held our people in captivity wanted from the offspring. It's not to go against the grain. You feel what I'm saying? So the way that your mom, your father, your grandmother, I want you to be that way. So respect your elders. And it's in reverse. Now, that being said, had it been promoted among the tribe at that time to respect wisely, when Harriet was doing her thing, the queen, you know, God bless the dead, when Denmark Vesey was doing his thing, God bless the dead, you feel what I'm telling you? When Nat Turner was doing his thing, God bless the dead, you feel what I'm telling you? If the ego and the pride, which has been stripped or was stripped from our predecessors, you know, at that time, if ego, as hard as that may have been, was taken out of the equation, within the household, the elders would have told the young to respect those who were trying to break free. But, you know, assuming that they understood that they were in captivity and did not want to live that way. You feel me? Because even today, some of us believe that this is a free society, an equal society, a just society, all that. And everybody has a right to feel how they feel. But if you paid more attention to situations outside of your life and thought about things as a collective, as a whole, we've there's a lot more things need to be changed. Is all I'm gonna say on that. Everybody's gonna have their different opinions, but to get to the point, had the household, the elders in the household said, "Hey, place your respect in this place or this. Have you thought about doing this?" Wanting better for the ones after them. You feel what I'm saying? We wouldn't have gone down this road of respect your elders no matter what for so long. Still even till today, we haven't conquered that setting the pride and ego to the side. Because within yourself, if you are an elder, or if you become an elder, the things you're doing in your life, if they're worthy of somebody, respecting or be, if you had to compromise your principles at times, and if you had, what I'm saying, out of necessity sometimes, you had to go kiss up a little bit to get somewhere, you would know if your actions are worthy of respect. You feel me? But again, the ego and the pride will make you be like, yeah, follow my lead. I know the way. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you how to leading the young one down the wrong path, because none of anybody in this day and age that come from me, flesh of my flesh, you feel me? We are not where we need to be as a whole, as a collective. There's so much that's in disarray right now. And if you disagree, cool. But to those who do agree, things are in disarray, you feel me? So to make as an elder, to make yourself the standard for the young to follow, and you didn't do anything to break off any kind of shackle, bro, that's wrong. That's deception. And then that's respect being placed in the wrong direction. You get what I'm telling you? Respect. You have to have self-respect first. And I think that's where the headbutting comes when it comes to those of mine, flesh of my flesh. You know what I'm saying? That's where the rebellion, the button of heads comes. Is because tradition that we carry on was based in wickedness. It was based in deceit. The things that we've carried on and passed down, some traditions, not all, some traditions should be preserved, others should be dismantled and destroyed. But what I'm telling you is understanding our inception in this country, how things went. You feel me? When everything went down the way it did, and then up until this point, certain things that have been promoted and claimed and sometimes forced on us as our traditions has been carried down up until this point, not knowing that everything that they want us to make traditional in our society and amongst us is not for our benefit, because it's secondhand traditions and customs. You know what I'm saying? And secondhand knowledge and information. So why wouldn't you want to dismantle some of those traditions? Retaining some that are beneficial, but dismantling the others, It's plenty that we need to dismantle, but for the sake of conversation, we'll say it's a split 50-50 thing. The half that's not necessary, why wouldn't you want to, dismiss that? It's not working for us. You feel me? We need to break away from that, and then retain, preserve, and polish the ones that are necessary and conducive to us raising up. Why wouldn't we? Pride. Because there was once upon a time when you were a young one, you was a jit, you know what I'm saying, a peewee, a little one. It was a time when you were admiring that stature as the elder. And then if we've come to a place where we realize, okay, some of those traditions are outdated, it's almost like hot potato, The time has now set when you're now the elder and you're realizing, okay, some of those traditions are janky, bro. Like, we need to, oh, no, I'm not going to get my respect now as an elder. Like, what? And I think it went like that for generate, because I guarantee even back, beyond this day, like in the past, there were youngsters that thought a different way, didn't agree with how the elders were carrying themselves at the time, all throughout history, even beyond our history, as a people. But, you know what I'm saying? All throughout history, in human history, it's been like that. The changing of the guard, the changing of the era, the times. You see? One time has to die for the next to rise. and that's part of it. But you don't want to. I feel like that's where the ego comes from. Like, man, I'm not finna give it up now. All the respect and admiration I'll get for not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm an elder and got so many years, why I gotta give it up? I had to respect my grandma, and you know. Hey, what can I say? Times change, man. It be like that. But for the sake of the young ones, you should just be like, okay, that's cool. I'm willing to, and then that'll make you develop a different standard of self-respect to do things that are more worthy of respect. If the old standard ain't working, if the old standard is not what the youngsters respect anymore, you should want to do something that's worthy of respect. But most people like things handed to them easy. When it comes to respect, I do believe you should enter interactions respectfully, being yourself, you know, because that's the most respectful way to be, is presenting the true and honest you know, not pretending. Because to me, that's disrespectful. Faking is disrespectful, you know. Pretending is disrespectful. You know, why perpetrate what you ain't? You see what I'm saying? Why? Life is too short, you know? But I say that to say you should go into situations respectfully, even if you don't respect the individual or the people you're involved with at that time. And I'm gonna tell you why. Being diplomatic, you know what I'm saying, is a skill. It's not being fake, it's not pretending, but being diplomatic is a skill. And I'm gonna tell you why it is. When it comes to a society where there's so many cultures, you might be in a situation where you're not the dominant culture. Your understanding might not be the dominant understanding. Now, in situations like that, you still need to proceed upward. You feel what I'm saying? You cannot distance yourself from an opportunity to proceed. You have to take that on no matter who's in the way. Nobody should stop that. So being diplomatic in those situations, knowing when to share your understanding and when not to, you know, when to voice your, you know what I'm saying, disrespect, and when to keep it cool and separate. Knowing when to do this and that is very important. And you're talking to somebody that didn't know how to differentiate when I should cool out and when I should get, you know, on it. You feel me? I was impulsive. And let me tell you how many opportunities I squandered because of that. Plenty. If I had a penny for everyone, I'd be a millionaire. Like, you probably like, man, you ain't even lived that long to have that many opportunities. Bro, listen, every day is an opportunity. You feel me? Every day. I think I've been here almost close to 1,000,000 days, you know? I don't know. You do the math, you know, but hey, every day is an opportunity, though. Every day. To bust a move in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? To have it your way. Possibly. And if it go wrong, handle that, maintain in the bad times, and then when the good times come, you'll raise up, you know? You'll be able to make something of that. But I say that to say, knowing when not to and when to do certain things in situations where you're not the dominant culture, you're not the dominant outlook, perspective, understanding, that will carry you a long way on your path, your process, and on top of that, you'll learn the different mental makeups of different people, the different kind of understandings of people. You'll learn something outside of yourself, whether you assimilate, agree, and adopt or not. Either way, you're learning something outside of yourself, and that's very important. But if you still maintain your self-respect, it doesn't matter how many influences come your way or you're around, because you have your self-respect intact. You feel me? You're still gonna be you and stand up as you in any situation, whatever you're learning, however different the people may be, you know? Because your self-respect is intact. And nobody can take that. But if there's no self-respect, if you don't have respect for yourself, when you get into these situations with all these influences, you're going in every direction. Because you're not standing on anything, you don't respect yourself enough to be like, hey, I feel some kind of way about this, I'm not trying to go that direction. No, you're gonna go. Why? Because there's no self-respect. There's no self-respect. You know? And again, respect is important to succeed in anything that you're going for. You feel me? The situation you're involved in, if there's no respect in that situation, let's talk about romanticism for a second, you know? When it comes to your counterpart, your comrade, you feel me? Your companion, your lover, you know? If there's no respect as a part of that foundation, you know what I'm saying? That cement of understanding, respect, you know what I'm saying, loyalty, if it's not within that foundation, nothing else can grow from that. Because if you want to talk about love, you can't love what you don't respect. Say I'm lying. Keep it real. If you don't respect someone or something, you cannot love it. There's no way. Why do I say that? Because respect is being able to regard, you know what I'm saying, as worthy. You get what I'm saying? Being able to regard and consider as lofty. You know what I'm saying? Presentable, lovable. You know what I'm saying? Those things. To lend your regard to consider, to acknowledge. You get me? If you don't respect it, how can you love it? If you don't consider it, acknowledge it, how can you love it? And I feel like that's where a lot of relationships go down the drain. Whether monogamous or otherwise, whatever kind of relationship that got some kind of romanticism sprinkled in, you feel me? With no respect. Because you can be loyal to something that you don't respect. Did you know that? Loyalty is commitment. That's all that is. You can be committed to something that you don't respect. I got a video coming out about loyalty pretty soon. I'm going to break that down because I feel like I might have lost a few people. Because you might be like, man, if I'm loyal, I do love it. Nah, not necessarily. Depending on your definition of love too, because to me, love is unconditional. You know what I'm saying? You could remain loyal to somebody because they're paying your bills. You get what I'm saying? If they weren't paying your bills, you would not be loyal anymore. That's conditional. That's not love. Do you get me? But I'm gonna come out with a video on loyalty and break that down further. But to me, if there's no respect, you know what I'm saying? There can be no love. There can be loyalty without love. You get me? Loyalty is very important too. Do not disregard or belittle loyalty at all, because that's very important. But I'm talking about when it comes to everything being amalgamated and mushed together and conjoined, all that is important for relationships to remain solid. There has to be a piece of each. You know what I'm saying? Each piece solid though. Each piece 100%, but there has to be a piece of each within that, you know, cement foundation of, you know, building whatever. It has to be there. Respect definitely has to be there. You get me? Do you get me? So I felt it necessary to bring it to your attention. And don't tolerate disrespect and people not giving you respect. You feel me? If there's no respect in the situation, there should not be a situation. You get me? Because there's a billion people in the world. You don't have to be in the midst of somebody you don't respect. I don't think. You have to be okay with being to yourself a little while, you know? At times. It's not like you're going to just be ducked off for years on top of years and like you're a mad man or woman out on the streets, you know, begging for change and going crazy, you know? And nothing against anybody that is living like that. Homelessness is real. All love to those who don't have a shelter over their head. That's a tough situation, you know? But I'm saying that to say, like, don't allow that to throw your mental balance off. You get what I'm telling you? You see what I'm saying? Don't allow situations to throw you off of your course. You get me? It's not going to be like, you know, that time to yourself is not going to be your detriment if you know how to utilize it. You get me? And that could be a time where you can start developing principles and your self-respect, your self-love. You know? You don't have to be excommunicated from the world for years on years on years, you feel me? But sometimes you gotta be willing to separate and be alone for the sake of not becoming disrespectful. Because I feel as though if you are a genuine, sincere, passionate person, if you're in the midst of somebody you don't respect for too long, you're gonna begin to be disrespectful. It's gonna come out naturally. You're gonna start being, because you're being true to you. You're gonna start saying things, you know what I'm saying? You might start even doing things because it has to be manifested. all energy is going to be manifested. It has to be manifested. You know? That's how you build connections. That's all speaking is. You're manifesting what you're thinking. Everything has to be manifested. Your actions too. And if you're feeling disrespect for somebody or no respect for somebody, it's going to turn into disrespect. So why not separate? If you're not in favor of confrontation this time in your life, you might be on that, and you know you like to get active. You know, you like to get some wreck in every once in a while. That's cool. You know, to be as disrespectful as you choose to. I'm not here to judge you. You know, but for those who are trying to avoid confrontation and are working toward building, you know, something that's going to last or sustain, you know, for a little while. You know, if you're trying to have a good run in this time of your life, separate from that which you do not respect. You know what I'm saying? Because your sincerity would not allow you to hold down that energy. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be manifested. It's going to be manifested. And that, I don't think that goes against self-control, because again, and I probably need to do a video on that too. I probably will. Self-control to me is the ability not to act when temptation, desire, I guess sometimes negative emotions, you know, but to me, what's being manifested is not because of lack of self-control. It's extended interaction with that which you don't respect. So you're unconsciously, you're going to start maneuvering a certain way and saying certain things. You feel me? Because like, you can only pretend for so long. So why not separate? And that's all I got right now for today. I could go further and further and further. But that was just a quick conversation for you real quick. Hopefully you soaked up something I might have said to you. And yeah, I want your day, your night to go great. You could make it that way. All love. Until the next day. Yeah.
The nitty gritty got me showing no pity. I'm really a cool dude, but the truth is the proof my eyes see got me feeling like what's the use in trying to be kind to the grimy. I blacked out when he tried me. You say it ain't right, but I can't let the slight slide by me. A solo roller, alone is where you'll find me. I ain't hiding, waiting for the Lord to get beside me. Remain unfazed, better days is the trade when I raise from this place. Relief from treachery is all we seek. Speak my peace and retreat to a place that's free. If it were up to me, that's how I see things. But the reality that